Picture this. The date is February 21st, 2005, and you're watching Nickelodeon. All of a sudden, this new show comes on. This new show called Avatar: The Last Airbender. You eventually fall in love with the show as new episodes are released. You watch every episode as they come out over the almost 3 years that the show aired on television. But on July 18th, 2008, you see the final episode air. This wonderful world of mystical beasts and powerful kingdoms. You watch as it all comes to an end. Then, about 15 years later, the show regained its popularity. You watch it again, remembering the times you would sit and wonder, what adventures would Team Avatar go on in the next episode? This show was considered a masterpiece among cartoons. This masterpiece was created by none other than Aaron Ehas. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Aaron Ehas, as previously mentioned, created The Last Airbender, but there is another show that he created that is quite similar to that. If you looked at the title and watched the show, you probably know what I'm about to talk about. This show is called The Dragon Prince. This is another fantasy action series that is just amazing. If you haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender or The Dragon Prince, I'd suggest going to watch those before watching this video. But the story, the scenery, the sound design, the animation, and the music, I bet the music in this show could press the musical legends John Williams and Alan Silvestri. For those under a rock, John Williams did the music for all of Star Wars films and some of the Home Alone films and probably more. Alan Silvestri did music for Back to the Future films and most, if not all, of the Marvel stuff. But even with the animation, they wanted to include every last detail. They went as far as to change the dilation of the pupils in different light settings. Now, while I'm talking about how spectacular this show is, I still wonder, how is it a kids' show? From blood-curdling screams of pain
Enough brooding, elf. My patience wears thin. Tell me what you know about this relic, or I will seal your fate.
You have succeeded.
Oh? Have I?
That mirror? You have found something worse than death.
Then tell me, what is it?
I will never help you.
Then you are of no use to me. I always seem to capture the same expression. Defiance. Giving way to absolute fear.
downright disturbing images.
Humans disgust me. Your kind could not be satisfied with what you are given. So you take what is not yours. You take it within you, and you turn it to filth.
and blood. Lots of blood. There is even this one sequence where this guy's arm was broken and another guy got impaled in the same sequence. Then, there was this one guy who actually just roll the clip.
Ready! Launch!
So, I just talked about the main thing that I made this entire video for, but I still want to talk more about this show. Like, it won an Emmy for crying out loud. Recap time! King Hera of Katalis has received news that Moon Shadow Elf assassins are coming to kill him when the moon comes up tonight. So, he sends his two sons, Callum and Ezran, with their pet glow-toad Bait. By the way, their mother died, but we'll get to that later. So, Harrow sends them to their winter lodge where they'll be safe. Before they leave, however, Harrow gives Callum a letter. But before Callum, Ezran, and Bait can leave, one of the assassins, Rayla, comes to kill Ezran. Now, you may be wondering, why are these assassins coming to kill the king? Well, because the king of Katalis and High Mage Viren killed the Dragon King and destroyed his only egg. But while Rayla is chasing Callum through the castle, they discover that the egg is in fact not destroyed, and they join forces. Their goal? Take the egg of the Dragon King back to the magical land of Sadia. They get stopped by Callum's crush, Claudia, the daughter of Viren. Callum takes her primal stone, which allows her to do sky magic, and chains her up. Then she sends wolves made of smoke to try and kill them. How nice. They eventually make it out of the castle, but not before Harrow dies, and one of the elves is captured, their leader, Runand. God, the spell check on the script is gonna hate me. So, they make it to the Winter Lodge, and Rayla goes in to retrieve the cube thing that Callum sent her in there for. Then, a battalion of humans, led by Ezran and Callum's Aunt Amaya, who is deaf, and her translator, Commander Gren. Later that night, Rayla, Callum, Ezran, and Bait barely escape, but Amaya thinks that Rayla is going to kill the princes, so she sends a tracker after them. Then, skipping past a bunch of stuff that's not very important to the plot, Rayla reveals that the ribbon on her wrist won't come off until Ezran is dead, and it will keep tightening until her hand comes off. How nice. Still, how is this a kid's show? Skipping ahead even more, they escape from an avalanche, but Ezran is standing on a frozen lake that is about to crack. Callum goes onto the lake, and Ezran gives him the egg. Callum then takes the egg to Rayla, who drops it because of the pain in her hand. It goes through the ice, and Ezran dives in to get it. The egg isn't doing so well, so they bring it into a town nearby. They take it to a vet who tells them about a little girl who encountered a miracle healer on the haunted mountain called the Cursed Caldera. Can't remember the girl's name, but when her pet wolf was a baby, her foot got stuck in a bear trap, and the girl's parents wanted to put it down since it had to get one leg amputated and it only has 3 legs. So the girl takes the wolf and runs up the Cursed Caldera. So when she's done telling them about this miracle healer, she takes the group up the mountain and they encounter many horrors along the way. But they finally get to the place where the miracle healer was last seen. But when she shows up, they discover that the miracle healer is just a moon mage. A moon mage just makes illusions. All of the monsters that they encountered were illusions. So this miracle healer isn't actually a miracle healer. The wolf's 4th leg was an illusion this whole time. So the egg of the Dragon King isn't able to be healed. The moon mage, I forget her name too, tells them that it can only hatch in the eye of a storm. Remember the primal stone that Callum stole from Claudia? It contains the power of an entire storm. So, Callum smashes it and a huge storm breaks loose. The egg is almost blown over the edge of the cliff, but Rayla saves it at the cost of her hand. Then, the middle of the storm clears up and the egg starts to look better, but then the storm stops. The egg looks worse than before. But all of a sudden, it cracks. And soon, the whole shell falls away and out pops a baby dragon. The Dragon Prince, Ozymandias. They'll just call him Zim now. Zim hops over to where Rayla is sitting and bites off the ribbon. All of a sudden, purple wisps float down to their position. Earlier in the season, we know that Claudia and her brother Soren are tracking down the princes. Soren was given orders to kill them so Viren could be king. Viren is a villain, by the way. So Zim was born in Happily Ever After, right? No. There are 4 more seasons, making 5 in total, with 1 or 2 more on the way, which means I will be making multiple parts. 1 recap per season. There was one more thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, even though that it has to do with seasons 3 and 4. So, if you couldn't tell, the voice actor for Callum is the same voice actor for Sokka in the last 2 seasons of Avatar The Last Airbender. Both shows, as previously mentioned, were created by the same person, Darren Ehas. Sorry if I'm messing up your name. So, anyone remember this scene from Season 3 of Avatar?
Why? Space sword. I don't think Boomerang is coming back, Toph. It looks like this is the end.
Well, in Season 3 of Dragon Prince, Callum picks up a piece of someone else's staff and says this.
What is it? Why are you staring at that thing?
Something so strangely familiar. Boomerang?
And then, in Season 4, we get this special scene.
All of that and our gifts weren't enough?
Enough? Look around you. I sleep amongst piles of legendary treasures.
You don't understand. We were sent by the Dragon Queen herself.
Notice anything? It's Sokka's boomerang. So after about 14 years, because Season 4 came out in November 2021, Boomerang finally came back. This made me very happy. I was also told Aang's staff was also in there, but I couldn't find it. Let me know if you found it in the comments below. Overall, it's a good show. It's funny, it has a good story, it has good music, and good animation. If you haven't watched it, do it now. Subscribe.
One, two, three. One, two,